Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to another video here. Hopefully, coming out before. Well, it will. If you're seeing this, it will come out before the NBA draft. But yeah, a very final mock draft, like as late as it can get. So yeah, I see no time to waste. Let's go ahead and get into this. We are on Fanswell. I love this site for the most part. There's some stuff I have some issues with, but very minimal. But yeah, the mock draft right on here. We'll do a first round. With just the official stuff, and going ahead and getting right into this with the first overall pick. I think these first three picks have kind of been leaked already. I'm still going to do it as if I were the general managers of each team. Like if I were in charge of making decisions, this is what I would do. And first, Cade Cunningham. That's pretty simple. I mean, I can see like it's smart of them for looking at other prospects. But yeah, it was going to be Cade. We all knew it was going to be Cade. Very talented. Yeah, he's the number one pick. Number two, Jalen Green. I like these top four, all extremely talented. I was like just the top, going back and forth at the top three with Suggs, Mobley, and Green on for the last pick. But yeah, just Green's just scoring ability from the wing is just a little bit too much to pass up on if I were Houston. So he's the second overall pick. At third, what it comes down to here is who do you think, like, where's the trade going to happen? Is it going to happen? Are you going to clear out like Kevin Love, Jared Allen? Like, are you going to clear out these big men, or do you want to clear out Colin Sexton more? If you want to clear out Sexton more, you go Suggs. You want to clear out your big men, you go Mobley. I personally go Suggs here. I think he's absolutely insane. He's a winner. I just like watching him play in the tournament. Watching before that he just looks like an absolutely amazing prospect, and I think a great fit for Cleveland as they're going to try and start rebuilding there. Now for the Raptors, easily Evan Mobley with the fourth pick. As you can see, like even just that, this says need for center. I don't think he'll start necessarily right away as a center. At least I don't think he really should. But on this Raptors team, he probably will. I mean, Aaron Baines and Boucher are big men that could play the center position, though Boucher is a little smaller. But still, Evan Mobley is the pick here. I mean, he's going to develop into something amazing. Those top four are all great. And so are this entire draft class is absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think those four picks, you can go any order you want. Like, if you had Evan Mobley going second, I'm not getting mad at you. Like, that's within reason. That's absolutely amazing. But I think those four, I think a lot of people have Evan Mobley going third, and then Suggs fourth. I'm one of the few that don't have it quite like that. But outside of this top four is where it starts to get a bit fun. For me, I think the Orlando Magic, they could either go Scotty Barnes or Jonathan Kuminga here. I think make the most sense, at least to me. I mean, you do kind of have some set pieces, like some pieces like you love Jonathan Isaac, you love him there. He's like the only person that's a real lock on this team, I think, is Jonathan Isaac. Other than that, you got Markelle Fultz. There's no real answers with him yet. Still injured all the time. Wendell Carter. And Mo Bamba. So you don't want a center really because you have those two. You don't really want a point guard. You got Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz, MCW. Then shooting guard, you have a nice potential shooting guard in R.J. Hampton. You have Gary Harris, but that's a place you can go look. Or you're going to play Fulton Anthony, or however you want to sort the guards. So it's a small forward, and both of them can play the small forward. I just like Scotty Barnes a little bit more, just because I don't have complete confidence in their three guards. For honestly, I like a bit. I like what I saw from Cole Anthony at the end of last year. But if they need someone who can play make, you got Scotty Barnes on that team, and I absolutely love that pick for them at 5. At 6, it's Jonathan Kuminga, especially for the Thunder, who just have their team is you have Shea, who is insane, like absolutely building block piece right there. But outside of that, you really don't have anyone. You have Dort. I think those two are the two that or that you can try and build around. And I think Kuminga will, like, developmental-wise, I think the timetable is about right. The Thunder's development team is great. So I think putting Kuminga into Oklahoma City is absolutely amazing. It's like the potential on him is insanely high. He could be the best player from this draft class. He did disappoint a little bit toward this last season, but still in the G League, but still so much potential, and I think he will turn into a great player. Now, with the Warriors at 7, I've seen so many things being mocked to him. Like, I think Davion Mitchell was one that was pretty common. I see Franz Wagner. I see pretty much like a lot of these names right here I have seen been mocked to him. But like, if they want to end up trading this pick, you go for someone with an insane amount of like potential, and that'd be someone like Josh Giddey. I think James Bouknight maybe even, or either one of these Johnsons or whatever. But if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I see someone here that can absolutely help me, and that's Corey Kissbert. He is the best shooter in this class. His off-ball skills is absolutely amazing. His on-ball is very good as well, but he's someone that honestly could fit in right along. Like, if you did want him to start, he absolutely could. He's fine defensively. Nothing special, but he's not a horrible defender. He's someone that won't get picked on, but on offense, he's one of the best catch and shooter. He was the best catch and shooter in college this last year. He also does so much movement off the ball. His cuts are amazing, perfectly well timed. Whether that was a system Mark Few, or it was just him being intelligently smart. I think if it was Mark Few, that's kind of bleeded over into Kissbert, and it's absolutely amazing. His finishing around the rim isn't quite there yet, but I do think just his insane three-point ability. Because he's gonna get open looks probably with the Curry and Clay on the court, or he could take over some scoring for the bench. Like, he can. It's not ideal. You would like to have someone you don't ideally want him as he can be your lead scorer, but you don't want him facilitating the ball really that much. I mean, he's capable of it, but that's not ideal. Anyway, with the 8th pick, the Orlando Magic are back up. And I think you go with a bit of scoring here. I know we talked about their guards already. And you could go forward like Jalen Johnson, who could play more small forward if anything, but he could play power forward, and so could Barnes a little bit. You can play them both at the same time if need be. But I think you go with an absolute scoring menace right now, and that's James Bouknight. He is one of the best scorers, I think, in the draft. He has the capability to drop 20 points a night on any night. His shooting is typically solid, but that could he has range for the most part. It's a little inconsistent, but he does have quite a bit of range, and I think he's just a great scorer to have for if I'm the Orlando Magic. Now for the Sacramento Kings, I think the two players that have been mentioned a lot with them are Franz Wagner and Alperen Sengun. I'm personally not huge on Wagner. It's just because I don't see that much potential with him. I see him as someone who can be he's not a great three-point shooter. He doesn't really specialize in any one thing, but except for defense, he's a great defender. That is what he's. I can't believe I forgot about that. He's a great defender, which, if you were to put him on this team, that's you have De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton already, who are both great solid defenders. Then you put Wagner in there, that would work well. But I think we're going to address the big man needs here and go Sengun. I think he is extremely talented. I think he can work well with De'Aaron Fox and Halliburton just in the offense, and defensively, just a bigger person down, bigger person down there who can rim protect for the most part. Not as necessary strength, but a bigger body in the paint. And with their Marvin Bagley issues, I think you need to get rid of Bagley and then just start over with Shingun. Shingun can be a really special player from this class. Now for the Memphis Grizzlies at 10, there's quite a few players that I like here. I like Josh Giddey, just because he's, well, first of all, 6'8", and he can also play make, which like if you want like the ball out of Jaw's hands for like a couple possessions, Giddey's the perfect player for that. Or if you want Davion Mitchell, who provides that extra bit of defense along with the ability to take the ball out of Morant's hands when needed, that works as well. Or someone like Chris Duarte, who is, I've seen compared to Dillon Brooks. If you want to have two Dillon Brooks out there, that sounds great. Like having two like great 3-and-D players. I'm personally going to go with Josh Giddey. I think his playmaking ability is just so good. Like his potential is great. I think you can play both him and Ja at the same time, whereas I have questions with that with Davion Mitchell, sorry. And as with Chris Duarte, I like it. I definitely toyed with the idea of having two Dillon Brooks, per se, on the same team. But in the end, I like Giddey. I like his offense a little bit too much to like his offense, like the ability that he has shown, like to be more versatile in offense as compared to Duarte, handling the ball a bit more. So I did go with Josh Giddey there. With the 11th pick, I think the Hornets will go big man here. I don't think it'll be Garuba. I think they need more of a rim protector, and that player is Isaiah Jackson. I saw somewhere that he's compared to JaVale McGee, which I don't remember the exact source, but I thought that was a great comparison for him. Like just the ability to, like the defensive like anchor, I guess you can say, that potential that Jackson brings is absolutely amazing and exactly what the Hornets need. You could go Wagner here as well, just because like small forward, once Gordon Hayward went down, was a clear need. However, I think you can could potentially run a lineup of like LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, and then Bridges, Washington, and maybe Jackson nearly right away. Maybe not right away. Start like have Zeller, but eventually like you can have that the starting five of those starting five for Charlotte, and that's going to be great. I think that can work. There might not be greatest spacing, but I think it could definitely work, especially with LaMelo's development. I think Isaiah Jackson is a great fit there as a rim protecting defender. Now with the Spurs, this one was a little bit more challenging, just because like I don't know if they want to go full rebuild. I'm guessing they probably don't. But then you look at the players available, and you look at the players that probably won't be on your roster next year, like DeMar DeRozan, your best player. And that could kind of help lean you towards a rebuild. I don't think it would be a long one for them. I think they could potentially either trade up or down. I think they might be a sneaky one. Probably not, but they'd be someone I would like to see move maybe a little bit and get a piece more willing like that they need to help them win right away. But so I think for now I'm gonna act like DeRozan's gone. I wouldn't necessarily like to bring Rudy Gay back, like on the at least for that much money. Patty Mills, I think definitely come back as a backup point guard. Again, maybe not quite for that money, but I don't know if he would sign for less. So then we go here, like we had DeJounte Murray, Derek White, then Devin Vassell, and Keldon Johnson as kind of our guards and forwards, which kind of shies me away from these four. I think the Spurs definitely need someone who can play the bigs, and the best one available right now is Usman Garuba. His offense isn't there at all. Like if you grade him just based off of offense, he might not crack the top 100. But defensively, he is absolutely insane. Like if you go and watch the like U.S. versus Spain, Spain game for the Olympics. I think it's just like an exhibition or whatever. He gave Kevin Durant work. Like, Kevin Durant had to work. One of the best scorers in NBA history was being, like, Garuba pushed him to his absolute limit. Like, it was nice to see. But yeah, I think someone who can play the bigs and provide great defense in an already great defensive system, that should, I think, work very well. And he doesn't necessarily need to be the scorer on that team. Now for the Indiana Pacers. Their starting five, like, there's their starting five right there for the most part. Maybe switch T.J. Warren in, but they're also looking to move someone like Miles Turner, basically Miles Turner, Doug McDermott, T.J. Warren, and this pick are all up for trades. But I say if they stay here, I think you draft someone like Davion Mitchell who can help you right away and be a really nice backup point guard. You're set. They're looking to compete. Davion Mitchell will help them do that without question. And also kind of steal them away from the Warriors. I don't think that's their primary goal, but yeah, I think Davion Mitchell as a backup guard in Indiana is absolutely amazing, especially great value with the 13th overall pick. Now the Warriors back on the clock. They did get they selected Corey Kissbert, who is someone you know can help right away. So now maybe like you go with someone who has a bit more potential. Because the window is kind of closing a little bit more. Like, these guys aren't young anymore. Curry and Thompson, they're not young. And you don't, like, Draymond Green's getting older. Like, that is someone really got his regression. But you do have some nice pieces now in Kissbert, Wiseman, who is younger. Don't know what you're doing with Andrew Wiggins. But go ahead and take someone like Jalen Johnson, who has potential not only to help right away, but to be, like, a very talented player down the line, and just someone who can really like keep their championship window open while some of their players start to regress a little bit. If he can progress like fairly quickly, and I think if there's a team that's going to help you progress quickly, especially as a guard and wing, it's going to be Golden State. Your three-point ability is going to skyrocket. Curry and Thompson got you covered there. But yeah, I think I love that pick for the Warriors taking a very high potential player in Jalen Johnson. Next, the Washington Wizards. I don't know what to say exactly other than Westbrook and Beal might be gone by the end of the night. I think we kind of have to, like, when this mock draft, kind of have to go with that they're going to be gone. Like, they don't want to be here. And if that's the case, I'm going to go with a guard that can play either the 1 or the 2 if needed. Which, like, Keon Johnson definitely intrigues me. Moses Moody, Cooper, for way different reasons. Like Moody's scoring ability and Sharief's playmaking. I know Cooper scored 20% or 20 points, but didn't shoot that well at all. We could go under the assumption that they both will be back, in which case you take Wagner, no questions, or maybe Trey Murphy. Actually, maybe I guess there are questions. Probably would just take Wagner, though. You could take Trey Murphy here, but I think I'm going to go with Keon Johnson, who can replace either one of those. I think, well, if only one of them's gone, he can fit with either player. Maybe less so Russell Westbrook, but yeah, that is someone I'd be more than happy with to start my rebuild with in Keon Johnson. Next, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, you already got Kuminga, who can play the small forward spot for you, small forward, power forward spot if when he develops, which they desperately need. But someone that's kind of like, if you're looking at like a potential, like not this upcoming year, but like maybe like a year or two down the line, you're looking at a roster of SGA, Lou Dort, Kuminga for sure. Then maybe someone like blanking on his name, Pokusevski develops into someone they can use. Maybe they use their picks to trade for someone. maybe Maladon develops enough to play the 1 and Shea the 2. But I think you go with someone who is versatile in both ways, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that's Moses Moody. Like his scoring potential, I know they kind of talked down on him a little bit with that, but still, his ability to score is insane, especially if you're matching him. Like if you're a back, for me, it's just picturing a backcourt of Shai and Moses Moody, and that's just too good to pass up. So Moses Moody here with the 16th overall pick. Now 17th for New Orleans. It's tough for New Orleans because you got Ingram, you got Zion, and you got Valanciunas. Those are three that will be on your team for sure next year. Outside of that, your guard play is not great, at least guaranteed. Lonzo's a free agent. Josh Hart's a free agent. You're like the person that is guaranteed to be back on your team, Kira Lewis Jr. unless traded, is fine. But like these are the two that like I have the strongest chance of returning to the Pelicans. Granted, they did just clear up enough to re-sign or match anything that Lonzo got, so he could also be back. But yeah, so I want someone who can play in the guard spot and help us a lot defensively, and that's to me is Chris Duarte. He became one of the best 3-point shooters in college, and one of the best defenders this last year, and I think it's a great fit for New Orleans. They still could use a point guard. Maybe they get one. I think do they have their second round pick? Let me see. I've kind of gone a little. Oh yeah, they have a lot more picks. There are a bunch of players down here like with 30 pick, like Daishen Nix, David Johnson, someone that can, just in case Kira Lewis doesn't quite work out. I think Lewis will develop a bit, but yeah, I think just in case it doesn't, you can take another high potential player down there as well. But here at 17, take Chris Duarte. Now 18 with the Thunder. They've taken Kuminga, they've taken Moody. And you could go center here, or at least a big. But for center especially, I don't really see someone you take here with the 18th overall pick. I like Neemias Queta a lot. Especially for if he goes into a team that doesn't expect him to be the leading scorer. Like if you need him there for rebounding and shot protecting, he is your man. But Sharp, I'm not overly high on. Same with Bassey. Bassey, I think they're fine, but definitely not here at the 18th pick. And I think he's fallen a bit too far. You go ahead and take Franz Wagner. That's a very solid pick. I mean, for the Thunder, who need basically anything, you did take a lot of wings. You've taken Kuminga and Moody, but Franz Wagner is just someone that is going to be a great defensive piece to have, especially if you want to build this team up using defense with Shai. And I think Kuminga can provide a bit of defense if he's I think he can provide a bit of defense. And then you got Franz Wagner in there too, who's a great defender. That's some nice building blocks right there, and I'm sure I'm blanking on quite a bit, but that just happens quite a bit. So with the 19th overall pick, the New York Knicks, it's a point guard. It's gonna be a point guard. Like there's no way this isn't a point guard unless they just love one of these centers so much, which I don't see happening. At least with the 19th pick, maybe with their 21st overall pick, they might take a center, but yeah, with their 19th pick, I could see it being Cooper, a great playmaker. Butler's just ready there to help you win. He's do whatever you need him to do. He can play make, he can score, he can do quite a bit. But I'm going to actually go with Trey Mann to run the point guard stuff. I mean, he scores. He isn't point guard stuff. I just realized I said that. He isn't the greatest playmaker per se, but I think if you get the score, Julius Randle can honestly play make for you. RJ Barrett can play make, so I think you get that scorer, and Trey Mann, that's a great pickup there. Now with the 20th overall pick, someone who I just think has loads of potential and can play either the shooting guard or small forward position is Trey Murphy. If you want to 3-and-D is what it says here. Don't know if this player sounds familiar to the Hawks at all, but yeah, it's exactly what they wanted in Cam Reddish. That's what they'd be getting here in Trey Murphy, except for they'd be getting it right this time. So at least they should be getting it right. But yeah, I have them taking Trey Murphy 20th overall, and now back here with the Knicks, I kind of hinted at it earlier. They're gonna fall in love with, like, a perfect center here is Neemias Queta. Here's what he does: he rebounds and he blocks shots. Okay, the Knicks don't need him to score. You got Trey Mann, you got Randall, you got Derrick Rose maybe off the bench, you got R.J. Barrett. Okay, you got players that can score. You got Quickly. Why did I forget about Quickly? Anyway, you have scoring players. You need someone who can protect the rim. You need someone who can rebound. That's Queta. He absolutely dominated the combine scrimmages. I watched him play live. He is an absolute beast. Okay, Queta is a great fit for New York, and I would love it if they picked him 21st overall. Next, 22, the Lakers. I think this will also be a guard, either point guard, shooting guard. I'm going to lean more point guard here, just to, like, KCP, unless traded, will be on the team. Let's see, there's someone else. Apparently not. Anyway, and I guess LeBron can play the point guard, but if you need someone to play make, we got Sharif Cooper. That's definitely someone who can play make, and I like giving LeBron. LeBron's getting old. Okay, you got to accept it. He's still great, but he's getting old. If you want to give him a little bit of a break, Cooper is an absolutely amazing playmaker. My worry is he's going to try and force a little bit too much shots right away, which can hurt the Lakers a little bit. But I think learning from LeBron, going to be so great as a playmaker. Learning from LeBron, I think it's gonna be a great fit there. Next, the Houston Rockets with back-to-back picks. So they have Christian Wood, who is someone that's probably going to stay there for a while. At least they're going to want to keep him there for a while. You got Kevin Porter Jr., and now you have Jalen Green. Those are three that I think are solid. Like, they are your pieces. Like, that's who you're kind of building around for the most part. Now you need a big man to pair alongside Christian Wood, and to me, that's Kai Jones. I love Jones's potential so much. He has a lot of potential. However, I like his defense a lot right away. His offense isn't quite there, but when you have people like Porter Jr., Wood, and Jalen Green, your offense doesn't need to be there. You need some defense, especially with Green, Christian Wood's been a solid defender. So now you have two nice bigs who can defend. But yeah, I like Kai Jones there a bit. Not a bit. I like him there a lot. But yeah, so with their 24th overall pick, you look at the players available, and it's a lot of guards. There's not really any small forwards. I could see Edwards, Jones, Hauser getting drafted high. Dyer Williams is someone that can be considered to play the small forward of this team. But I'm actually going to go with Jared Butler. Because Porter Jr. and Green provide versatility. So I think that kind of helps you there. Porter Jr. can play the 1 and Green can play the 2. And if you have someone you like at 3 here, I could see you taking them like Zaire. Or Jalen Green can play the 3. Porter Jr. can play the 2, and you can slide Jared Butler like how I like Jared Butler. I think he can fit right in there. So now with the Clippers, they kind of point guard, I would say, is definitely their biggest need. Reggie Jackson played great for them, at least in the playoffs when he needed to. But I think you got to go with the young point guard here, and that's Nahshon Bones Highland out of VCU. Unfortunately, his tournament was non-existent. And I think if he had played in the tournament, his draft stock might have been a little bit higher. He's a very talented point guard and someone that the Clippers could definitely need, like another scoring option. And he provides great. He's very good at. He can get the steals, pickpocket you. I like him a lot on this Clippers team, both offensively and defensively. Now for the Denver Nuggets, they need someone who can score. Okay, that they tried to find someone in Aaron Gordon, that wasn't it. Paul Millsap a couple years earlier, that wasn't it. Will Barton is a fine scorer. Michael Porter Jr. is coming in as a scorer, but I'm actually Cameron Thomas. Like, first of all, great potential. Great value pick. Like, he's falling 6 spots according to these ESPN rankings. He is someone that can play well, I believe, with Jamal Murray. And like, if you want to ease Jamal Murray in, Cameron Thomas can take some of the load off of him. But yeah, Cameron Thomas' scoring ability, I think, works very well in Denver. Next, the Brooklyn Nets. They need a center. They need a big man. And my favorite here, at least, I think that'd be Charles Bassey. It's very close between him and Sharp. I personally lean Bassey. I wouldn't be surprised if Sharp goes with this pick or even earlier, like to the Knicks at 21. But I'm personally going to lean Bassey here. It's a huge position need for Brooklyn. I mean, they tried to fill it with Jordan. They tried to do it with Blake. They need a center, and Charles Bassey is someone that can beat up other centers legally in the rules of the game. But yeah, like, he's someone, like, you're playing it, like, you're gonna have to deal with Joel Embiid. And I think Bassey's the best option right now for them to, like, address that center need, especially dealing with someone like Embiid, whose team is up now. And for them, this is hard because they're looking to move Ben, but they're asking way too much. Okay, Ben has been a little underrated by the media, but I saw, like, they declined a Warriors trade where it was like Wiggins, Wiseman, and like 4 first, like that. They demanded that out of him. Like, no, Ben Simmons isn't quite that valuable. So I do think Ben will be on the team again next year unless they start to loosen up their price a little bit, which I find highly doubtful. So there's your point guard. So you got your 3 point guard shooting, point guard, power forward, and center set. Now you need someone who's going to be the shooting guard or small forward on the starting lineup, and I think someone that can do that is Dyer Williams. He is a little smaller, not height-wise, but he's 185 pounds, which for reference is how much I weigh, and I am about 8 inches shorter than him, which I don't know what exactly that means. But his defense ability isn't quite there yet. I think it can get there, and it'll help. He will be picked on. He would be the easiest defender to go after on the 76ers lineup. But it's someone that can develop into a scorer, which someone that they score, who can score that the 76ers can rely on. I think Zaire can develop into that. He at one point was projected to go in the lottery, and he had, after his year at Stanford, was a little disappointing. But I think here at 28, great value for Zaire Williams, especially if he develops into something special, which the 76ers have been able to do with about half of their first-round picks recently. Actually, probably not even that much. But yeah, I think Zaire can, like, he doesn't have to be the man right away. Like, you still got Embiid. And you got Embiid for a while. You got Harris who can score. But I think playing with Ben Simmons can help him. Like, in Stanford, he was kind of alone. In Philly, he's not alone. Like, he's someone that can develop very quickly, I believe. Now, with the Phoenix Suns, I think we all remember when they took a certain power forward / center in last year's draft. Wasn't quite the move. So they kind of tried to back it up with Saric and Kaminsky, I think. Well, he was already on the team. But now they're going to officially patch it up. They're going to take Day'Ron Sharpe to be that backup center. I think that kind of, I wasn't able to watch any of the finals. I was able to listen to it. And from what I could hear, just like on the radio, is the backup center play needed to get better. And Sharpe can definitely do that. He can fill in for Ayton when Ayton needs to sit. So I think that's a very good pick for the Suns. Again, they do need to bring back Chris Paul. And if they don't think they can, then look for one of these guards to go, like Springer or McBride. But with the final pick, the 30th overall pick, the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are interesting because you value defense a lot, but you also need a scorer, kind of like you need someone who's okay being like not the number one scorer, but like still be relied on to score. And there's no perfect player for that, especially at 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with, where is he? Herbert Jones. He's 6'8", listed as small forward here, but can play power forward, played center at Alabama, can score, okay, can rebound. But yeah, I think he's just someone that the Jazz can utilize greatly, and can help them win real soon. But that'll do it for this. Here's just a review: Cade, Green, Suggs, Mobley, Barnes, and everyone else over here in the lottery, and Keon Johnson on the left. Then the back half of the first round. This is just an extremely loaded draft class, so I guarantee this isn't perfect. Granted, that's a pretty self-explanatory guarantee, but I do like a lot of these fits for the teams, and it's like a mix of fit and best player available. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy your night. I hope your team does well, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.